Hi, I'm Kevin. Welcome to my Wallpaper 4 Daily Dispatch. So we got 4 more guys on the wallpaper. This is one of those groups where the names cover just about every possible version of a sports career. We've got Jim Hrivnak and Dominic McGuire, then Jared Cosart and DJ Wonnum. One guy had basically one season in St. Louis. One made an NBA game matter without scoring a point. One showed up in the majors and nearly threw a no-hitter right away. And one spent months just trying to get healthy enough to play football again. So we'll start in 1993. Jim Hrivnak. He was a goalie, number 29 for the Blues. And this road to St. Louis was pretty interesting before he ever got there. He played college hockey at Merrimack, where he became a 2-time All-American. Years later, Merrimack put him in its Athletics Hall of Fame, and he got drafted by Washington, spent parts of 4 seasons with the Capitals, had a quick stop in Winnipeg, then landed in St. Louis for the 93-94 season. Now, Hrivnak wasn't coming in to take Curtis Joseph's job. Cujo played 71 games that year. Hrivnak was there to handle the other work, and he ended up appearing in 23 games for St. Louis. Excuse me. On December 4th, 1993, he got one of those nights where the backup goalie becomes the story. Dallas came into St. Louis and put 40 shots on goal. Hrivnak stopped 37 of them, and the Blues won 4-3. That's historically the basic backup goalie dream. You're not getting the schedule every night. You're not getting the face of the position, but somebody hands you the net, the other team starts peppering you, and you keep your team in the game. Hrivnak, he finished that season 4-10 with St. Louis, and that ended up being his final NHL season. But I like guys like this for Wallpaper 4 because if you only study the stars, you miss a lot of what a franchise actually looked like at a particular moment. And Jim Hrivnak was part of the Blues team with Brett Hull, Brendan Shanahan, and Curtis Joseph, playing in the final season at the old St. Louis Arena. That's a pretty good little piece of hockey history to have been standing in the middle of. Next up, we got Dominic McGuire, Golden State Warriors. Fast forward to February 29th, 2012. Dominic McGuire wasn't somebody the Warriors needed to run plays for. In fact, on this particular night against Atlanta, they didn't need him to score at all. Steph Curry was out with a foot injury. Mark Jackson's trying to figure out who should start, and he went with McGuire because, as Jackson put it afterward, McGuire represented what the coaching staff had been asking the team to do. Defense, rebounding, energy. Do the stuff somebody has to do, even if it doesn't make the highlight package. McGuire responded by grabbing 15 rebounds, 11 of them in the first half. He also spent the night guarding Joe Johnson, who needed 17 shots to score 18 points, and Johnson didn't score at all in the fourth quarter. So Golden State won 85-82. Here's my favorite part. Dominic McGuire scored 0 points, 15 rebounds, 0 points. That's basketball stripped down to its basic question. Did you help your team win? Because if you looked at one column in that box score, you'd think McGuire did nothing. But if you watched the game, you knew better. McGuire played 64 games for Golden State that year, started 6 times, and averaged under 4 points and under 4 rebounds a night in less than 18 minutes. So here's one for the 7 of you in the chat. Who's the best player you remember who could have a good game without scoring very much? High Life of Joju. Because those guys are fun. Jared Cosart, Houston Astros. So now we get to July 12th, 2013. Hello, Ladix Kim. Hi, Kim. July 12th, 2013, Jared Cosart gets his major league debut on the road against Tampa Bay. And the opposing pitcher is David Price, the reigning American League Cy Young winner. So no pressure, right? Cosart proceeds to carry a no-hitter into the 7th inning. Ben Zobrist breaks it up with 1 out. But Cosart keeps going and works 8 scoreless innings. He allows 2 hits. Houston beats Tampa Bay 2-1. Carlos Corcoran's 2-run single in the first inning gives Cosart all the offense he'll need. That was the first time in Astros history that a pitcher threw 8 scoreless innings in his major league debut. Now, think about what Houston baseball looked like in 2013. You remember? This wasn't the Astros team that would eventually start rolling through October every year. This team was deep in their rebuild, losing games and trying to figure out who might actually be part of the next good Astros club. Then this kid from League City shows up and nearly throws a no-hitter in his very first major league appearance. And that's how you get people's attention. Cosart ended up making 10 starts that year. High West edits, 10 starts and posted a 1.95 earned run average. That's the lowest ERA by an Astros pitcher through his first 10 major league starts in franchise history. He was named the club's Rookie of the Year by the Houston chapter of the BWAA. His Astros career didn't last long, though. Houston traded him to Miami in 2014. But that debut stands by itself. What's the best debut you've ever seen? Because 8 shutout innings while starting at a no-hitter for most of the night is a pretty good way to introduce yourself. Finally, December 22nd, 2024. Before we even get to the play, DJ Wonnum being on the field at all needs some context. Carolina signed him that offseason after he put up 8 sacks for Minnesota in 23. But Wonnum was recovering from a torn quad, and the recovery went sideways. He needed three surgeries. His body rejected internal stitches. Stupid. He developed a MRSA infection and then blood clots while being treated with IV antibiotics. So his first several months as a Panther weren't really about football. They were about getting healthy, staying alive. Wonnum finally returned in November, and in his first game as a Panther over in Germany against the New York Giants, he had 6 tackles, a sack, 2 quarterback hits, and a forced fumble. A little more than a month later, Carolina was playing Arizona in Charlotte. The game went to overtime, tied at 30. Arizona had the ball, 3rd and 10 from its own 22. And Wonnum got to Kyler Murray, 14-yard loss. So Arizona had to punt from its own end zone, and Carolina got the ball back with very short field. 2 plays later, Chuba Hubbard broke a 21-yard touchdown run. Game over, Panthers win 36-30. Arizona's playoff hopes, done. Wonnum's sack, it's not the play everybody remembers from that finish, because Chuba got the walk-off touchdown. Excuse me. But without that sack, Carolina probably doesn't get that field position. And that's the play before the play. And those count too. Wonnum ended up playing 2 seasons with Carolina before signing with Detroit March 2026. So that's today's 4. Jim Hrivnak standing up to 40 shots. Dominic McGuire helping win a basketball game without scoring a point. Jared Cosart showing up in the majors like he'd been there for years. And DJ Wonnum making the play that put Carolina in position to end the game. Different sports, different jobs. Same reason they're on the wallpaper. Every franchise has guys whose careers are a lot more interesting once you stop looking only at the biggest names. I'll change the wallpaper again tomorrow. I'm Kevin. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. I gotta go deliver the mail now, so I hope you all have a good day. Hopefully you have a nice day off, or whatever. Okay, check out some more. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.